I was here, we were in the studio. So if I may be 100% transparent, I was on the road 18 and a half hours from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way to Boston, Massachusetts. I did it by myself with the children. Denari is my day one all day because he was up with me. He stayed up with me, and then he fell asleep in Connecticut. But it was daylight by then, so it was good. I could spend a whole 17 hours about the last week and a half that has just passed, but I will not bore you. I think you could get all of the details in photos that are on my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. I really didn't post that much. I want to say that I enjoyed life and I enjoyed my vacation more than I did posting and keeping you guys up to date. So my apologies for being selfish, but I kept my moments to myself and my children, and I missed my daddy. I got to see my daddy and his new wife, my stepmom. I didn't get to see my Nana. You guys know how I feel about Nana. But the children are home. We are back. Everything is good. I feel good. You guys miss my non-singing abilities? Because I missed you so much. 617-282-0062. You miss me? You miss me not. You miss me? You miss me not. Germany is set to introduce facial recognition software at its borders in a bid to catch would-be terrorists trying to sneak in amongst refugees. I don't like facial recognition because it's really all over the place. And it's an iris scan, and it's your information collected without your permission. Long story short, let me give you a quick tip. So, when you're on Snapchat and you have all these filters and it's like, let's put a wreath on your head and pretend you have fake lashes and these big bubbly teary eyes. That's facial recognition software. Sorry, maybe you didn't know. Now you know. Every time you sit there and you go on Snapchat and you add one of those features, or maybe you want to put the little puppy dog face or whatever it is that you decide to add, that is you being entered into the facial recognition software. We're doing the contouring of your face. That's how they're able to get your eyeballs. It could be like 7 people in a picture and everybody have individual little eyeballs with tears in it, with wreaths on their head. Really? And everyone's doing it. Germany's interior minister wants facial recognition software to be used. Thomas de Mazanier hopes that airports and train stations, so you thought you guys had a little loophole. Not even at the bus station, boo. Will use the system. This comes after the country was hit by 2 attacks claimed by ISIS. So do I get it? I certainly do, but I do see the slippery slope that is attached to it. 2 medical journals just blacklisted Garcelle research, which shows the dangers of vaccines. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you should not vaccinate your child. I'm going to tell you that I personally have not and do not vaccinate my children. After I did my due diligence, after I did my research, after I said, can I see the paperwork, that little leaflet that comes in the box of vaccine? It's about this big for those that are currently watching live, and it has a lot of small print. And if you read the small print, it's like, listen, your child might die if they get too many of these vaccines at one time, but don't be alarmed. We're not at fault. You might want to check the health history of your children. I'm so serious. Read the leaflets. And any type of medication that they give you, know that there are two sets of paperwork. The paperwork that the doctors are going to give you, that's that bold print, the bold print that give it, and the fine print is that piece of paper that will take you about 3 hours to read and has all of the fine print that take it away. So that bold print that the doctors give you, about 3 or 4 pages, and it's like, listen, there are some side effects. You may have some issues later on. You may get a fever. Just sign right here and say that we gave this to you. There's 2 different paperworks, but we make sure they don't give you those 3 pieces of paper with the bold print. Make sure they give you that leaflet with that, I was supposed to say that joint paper. It's really, really fine paper, and it has 1,000,001 words on it, and it breaks down for you. For parents that are, don't want to get their children vaccinated, but the school is saying you have to, the doctors are saying you have to. For those who don't know, I want to inform you that you do not have to. It is not forced upon you in the state of Massachusetts. You do have a choice. So if you decide that you don't want to have your child vaccinated, all you have to do is take yourself to a notary, write a letter, just not even a real letter. You can do it in pen with your children's father sitting next to you, your children's mother sitting next to you. We philosophically, religiously do not want our child vaccinated due to religious reasons, due to philosophical reasons, due to, I just don't want my child vaccinated. There is no reason stated on my letter that I signed with the children's father. I want to say about 6 or 7 years ago, when Asaria started school. We're not getting our children vaccinated, period. And that was the end of that. Just be mindful, baby. Just be mindful. I want to remind you of the story that I read about 2 weeks ago about the baby who died 12 hours after being vaccinated. And it's called Vaxxed, the documentary, V-A-X-E-D, Vaxxed, the documentary. Get your hands on it, do your due diligence, and just be mindful. I want to give a huge, huge, huge shout out to the artists that are banding together to save Langston Hughes' historic home in Harlem. Gentrification is a many-headed beast, and now that beast may be coming to devour the former home of Langston Hughes, one of the great pioneers of the Harlem Renaissance. However, Renee Watson, a local writer who lives near the home, is trying to prevent that from happening. Watson has launched a fundraising campaign that hopes to raise $150,000 to rent the place and turn it into a cultural center. As of today, the initiative has raised a little over $26,000. For the past 10 years, I've walked past the brownstone where Langston Hughes lived and wonder why it was empty, said Watson on the campaign's homepage. How could it be that his home wasn't preserved as a space for poets, a space to honor his legacy? I'd pass the brownstone, shake my head, and say, someone should do something. I have stopped saying that. Someone should do something, and decided that someone is me, she added. Watson also launched I Too Artist Collective, named in honoring of Hughes' poem I Too Sing America, a nonprofit whose first major goal is to lease the apartment and to provide a space where emerging and established artists in Harlem can come and create and connect and showcase their work. I think that this is an awesome cause. I think that we do need to band together, and we do need to fight for the things that matter. And Langston Hughes' old brownstone is one of those things that we should fight for. So if you have a couple pennies in your account and you would like to donate, I will post that information on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page, and you can help them raise more than that $26,000 that they raised so far, which is a huge feat. Let me tell you, trying to raise a couple thousand for DavidBanner was difficult. So $150,000, my heart and soul and hats go off to her. But I do love the way she said something needs to be done. Someone should do something. And she was like, you know what? If no one else is going to do it, it might as well be me. We're always looking for somebody else to save us, but what we need to do is go internally, go within self, to thy own self be true, and figure out what is it that we can do. Indonesia approves castration for sex offenders who prey on children. I think that this is absolutely amazing, especially when you're a known sex offender and you're a repeat sex offender. You can send somebody to prison for 39 years. They're going to come out and they're still going to desire little boys. They're still going to desire little girls. Now you take that Willy Wonka off of them, and I don't see how they'll be harming children. You know, I'm just here for the comments. I read a lot of comments when I posted this, and it was posted all over Facebook. And a lot of people are saying that when it comes to sexual deviance, a lot of times it's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing. So even if you castrate these men, what about the women that still get mental pleasure and that emotional pleasure from fondling children? And don't forget that there's a coalition out here. What is it? Man-boy love, where there's actually men that are out here fighting for the right to make love to boys. You don't believe me? Go read. I promise you. It's not illegal anymore. You might gain something. But shout out to Indonesia. Maybe we might want to consider that here in America. Ain't that America? I posted a article last week while I was on vacation. Tayla, the kids asked me, like, do you ever go on real vacation? I can't, because the whole time I was on vacation, I was wondering what was going on in the world. What are people reading? What are people believing? What are people being told that's not the truth that I need or we need to go back and decipher and reread and, pay attention to the language? One of the articles that I found, the OxyContin clan, this was a Forbes.com article by Alex Morel. Shout out to him, of the Forbes staff. The $14 billion newcomer to Forbes 2015 list of the richest U.S. families. And this is a lengthy article, so I'll let you read it on your own, but I did post it. I just wanted to cover it one more time. The richest newcomer of the Forbes 2015 list of America's richest families comes in a stunning $14 billion. The Sackler family, which owns Stamford, Connecticut-based Purdue Pharma, flew under the radar when Forbes launched its initial list of wealthiest family in July 2014. But last year, they cracked the top 20, edging out families like the Bushes and the Mellons and the Rockefellers. How did the Sacklers build their 16th largest fortune in the country? Short answer, making the most popular and controversial opioid of the 21st century, OxyContin. What I did not know is that, what was it, the state of, I want to say Virginia. I read this probably about a week ago. The state of Virginia was suing them, and they were found guilty, but nobody in the family was found guilty. So it was the company that was found guilty, and no one had to serve any time. Here it is. I'm sorry. I completely lied. The drug wasn't an abuse resistant as it claimed. Someone looking for a fix couldn't just crush up the pills and break the time release mechanism, then snort the powder for a heroin-like high. Addiction, overdose, and accidental deaths followed. And the Purdue Pharma found itself facing charges that it had misbranded OxyContin as far less risky than it was. In 2007, Purdue paid $635 million. Again, I want to go back to how many billions are they worth? $635 million in fines after pleading guilty to false marketing charges by the Department of Justice. The Sackler family members were never charged. A case was brought on by the state of Kentucky, who also alleged false marketing, and this is still in the court system today. Billionaires pleaded guilty. False marketing, pleaded guilty. Time release won't cause addiction, and it won't make people. Huh? Do you remember the story I read probably about 4 to 6 months ago about how the FDA recently approved for children as young as 11 years old to be prescribed OxyContin? And we know it's an addictive drug. We know that it is the #1 reason why people are in these streets looking like zombies. Oh, Tayla, you're just a conspiracy theorist. Too bad this one is backed up with facts, baby. 7 officers were fired for the Laquan McDonald cover-up. So I can only imagine that you've already read about this, but shout out to Matthew Fogg. Thank you for all that he does. He was the retired Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal who won the largest ever $4 million employee Title VII discrimination case. And again, Marshal Fogg was the retired Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal who was on the show a couple months ago speaking about how he was told to target Black America when it came to drugs. And he's like, no, let's go out into the suburbs. You're going to find the same, if not more drugs than you're going to find in urban areas. And they went ahead and said, listen, you really don't want your job, do you? Because this is what we do. This is how we do it. And you need to fall in line. And he went ahead and sued and won $4 million. And he went ahead and posted this. Fire the 7 officials for the Laquan McDonald cover-up. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson is moving to fire 7 officers accused of lying about the shooting of Laquan McDonald and its aftermath. The officers have been relieved of their policing power prior to the determination of the police board. Set of reports. As part of the process, Johnson will submit his recommendations to the Chicago Police Board, which will ultimately decide whether or not to fire the officers. The officers in the police department were notified via email that Johnson will recommend the firing of the 7 of the force involved in the October 2014 shooting. The email that went out said that the department and its outside counsel have carefully reviewed the reports in supporting documents, video, and other evidence and will accept the recommendation to fire the 7 officers. The firings will be based on Rule 14, a section of the police department's disciplinary code that concerns an officer making false statements, written or oral. Rule 14. Making a false statement, written or oral. I want you to remember Rule 14 because this is going to be an important rule that may or may not fit with our guest today in some issues that we discussed yesterday. I'll leave this on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page. You can continue reading it as you may. I want to give a huge shout out to the Boston bikes. You know those bikes that are being put around the city? Yes, those are Hubway bikes. Let me tell you something. If you did not know, do you have food stamps? Do you have Mass Health? Do you have Section 8? Do you have family assistance? You have an opportunity. One more time. Do you have Mass Health? Because a good percentage of our children that get free lunch get Mass Health. And if you get free lunch for your child while they're in school, you too qualify for $5 a year to have your little Hubway key. And on your Hubway key, you can take any one of these Hubway bikes anywhere in the city, from Cambridge to Dorchester, just recently Dorchester, Roxbury, JP, anywhere downtown. If you travel downtown a lot, I promise you it saves you time, it saves you money. And for $5 a year, what are you going to lose? If you do not have any government help, you can purchase an annual membership for $85 a year. When you think about how much you spend in parking tickets, how much you spend in parking fees, when you think about how much time you spent looking for parking, I tell you, getting a Hubway bike key will save your life. And that's Hubway. I don't know the website. Just I'll post it on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page. They have multiple programs. If you work for a company and you want them to go ahead and adopt the bike culture, you can reach out to your human resource director and say, listen, do you think maybe we can add this as one of our benefits? They are open to that idea. Then you can go ahead and get your discount on through your job. Texas School Board is to spend $1.2 million to rename schools honoring Confederate leaders. The Houston Independent School District voted in favor of providing more than $1.2 million to pay for the renaming of schools that honor Confederate leaders. I don't know if you attended the DavidBanner event, but one of the things that we discussed at the DavidBanner event was the fact that we have street names, we have train stations, we have cities and a state school that is named after people that were some of the most prominent slaveholders in Massachusetts. If you don't believe me, please do your due diligence. If you live in Codman Square, if you live in Jackson Square, if you go to any of these train stations, if you live on Warren Ave, you might want to do your due diligence. If you've ever been to Amherst, you might want to do your due diligence. Have you ever seen Faneuil Hall? You might want to do your due diligence. It's not just here in Boston, baby. It's across America. We can't prove sex with children does harm them. this is one of the most stupidest, asinine, idiotic articles I have ever read a day in my life. We can't prove sex with children does them harm. I'm sorry. We have adults that used to be children that were sexually assaulted. I think they can attest differently. Evidence has emerged that the views of the Pedophile Information Exchange Influence Policy, making the National Council for Civil Liberties, when it was run by a former Labor Health Secretary, Patricia Hewitt. So these are claims that were made. PIE members were lobbying the NCCL officials for the age of consent to be reduced and campaigning for pedophile love. This is not, I can't make this up. I can't. It was published in extracts from the NCCL report written for the Criminal Law Revision, Committee in 1976, when Ms. Hewitt was General Secretary. It says, where both partners are age 10 or over, but under 14, a consenting sexual act should not be an offense, as the age of consent is arbitrary. We propose an overlap of the 2 years on either side of 14. Childhood sexual experiences willingly engaged in with an adult result is unidentified as far as damage is concerned. The Criminal Law Commission should be prepared to accept the evidence from follow-up research on child victims, which shows that there is little subsequent effect after a child has been molested. I wish you could see my face right now, because these are the stories that are circulated throughout your media that are, accepted. And maybe it's not widely accepted, but it's a damn article. And if you're here for the comments, there aren't many comments. You want to know why? Because the comments were shut off. Fears as Zika spreads hundreds of miles away. Patient diagnosed with local infection 5 hours from Miami. Patient in Pinellas County has caught Zika from a local mosquito. It is anonymous sign. It is an ominous sign that the virus could be rapidly scaling the U.S. Another 4 local infections also reported in Miami's Wynwood area. Listen, I'm only here for the comments. One of the comments was, why does it seem as if Zika is spreading only where blacks and browns reside? I thought that was hilarious. Good question, because I thought there weren't any mosquitoes in the United States of America with Zika. Remember that? It was only for people who traveled foreign, came home, spread it sexually, and now all of a sudden we have these hundreds of mosquitoes flying around Texas and Florida giving people Zika. Not a conspiracy theorist or anything. Not. I so am. I asked Nari what his Zika virus was, and he was just like, one of those diseases they created. My children make me so proud. He said, one of those diseases they created. Nari, who is they? Who is they? I think I'm raising conspiracy theorists. Good. At least they will have objective thinking. I'm going to put this on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page because we're definitely over power hour, but I wanted to get some of this news out to you, and I miss you, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and there's so much that we have to cover. There's like 3 hours worth of news that we've missed over the past week and a half, and I just really want you to do your due diligence and be mindful of what's going on out here. There's a homeless woman who's 80 years old who spent 10 years trying to get Social Security payments but kept being dismissed as crazy, and now she proved, because I was telling you 10 years ago that I earned my Social Security, give me, she proved that she's owed $100,000. Her name is Wanda Witter. She moved to Washington, D.C. from New York in 1999. She had just lost a job as a mechanist in New York and was looking for work in vain. She decided to draw benefits in 2006, but checks appeared wrong. so Witter didn't cash them, and meanwhile, she kept sleeping on the streets. A social worker finally listened to her in 2015, got her an attorney, and got her the money that she deserves. My baby been telling people for 10 years that this is wrong. Just look at the damn paperwork. Well, ma'am, the system says. I don't care about the system. Can you just sit down and listen to what I have to say? Well, policy says. Well, what does common sense say? It took somebody 10 years to sit down and listen to this woman in her validity, and for her to get an attorney, for her to fight, and now she is due $100,000. I posted this really quickly. The trooper who shot dead the unarmed deaf father who was trying to communicate in sign language sparks a criminal investigation by authorities. Daniel Kevin Harris, 29 years old, was shot and killed in Charlotte last Thursday by Trooper Jermaine Sanders. Yes, a black man killed a white man. He is a black police officer, and guess what? He ain't on desk duty. You don't have 30 days behind a desk. Saunders tried to pull Harris over for speeding violation on Interstate 485 and led the officer on a brief chase. Harris eventually stopped, got out of the car, and when an encounter took place, that caused shots to be fired. A police report identified Harris as hearing and speech impaired, but did not give further details about his impairments. The State Bureau of Investigation is currently conducting a criminal investigation. Please tell me if that was a black man that was deaf and mute and wasn't able to communicate, and that was a white officer, whether or not criminal investigation would even be a conversation at this point. Usain Bolt. You know, really quickly, I wasn't here during the Olympics. I really didn't watch the Olympics. I definitely followed all of the feed on Twitter. You know, every time somebody tweeted something, it was black girl magic across the board. Every time the United States won, it was black girl magic across the board. Every time the United States had a gold winner that was tweeted, it was black girl magic across the board. And there was this one part that I watched, you know, those I think they're GIFs, they keep replaying over and over again. And the young lady was being adorned with her medal, and she said, black girl magic. She said, all day. And that clip just, I love it. I love it. I replayed it, black girl magic, all day. Usain Bolt and his girlfriend will not split up. Usain Bolt is a Jamaican sprinter who won triple, double, 4 times, 5 times. One of the things that I love about Usain Bolt is that he said, listen, if you want to videotape me, if you want to record me, you have to come to my country. I love it. Yeah, that was a horrible accent, I know. I love the fact that he's like, listen, I'm not coming to America. I'm not going to France. I'm not going here. You want to record me. You want to get me on whatever sponsorships, promotional. Come to Jamaica. Come give my people some money. Hey. So now they're trying to get him for the okie doke because while he was, you know, in Rio doing his thing, he smashed somebody. And they're like, oh my God, he's a cheater on his girlfriend. And his girlfriend's like, oh, this is normal. We'll move through this. We're not breaking up. He's Jamaican. That was a racist comment, I know. But there's a lot of Jamaicans that agree with me. They have a Bob Marley mentality where, you know, one love. I love all of you. All 5 of you. Of my baby mamas. Y'all know this. Just accept it. Take it as it is. They're the good guys. Pharma bro Martin Shkreli, whatever his name is, sensationally backed the EpiPen CEO who has hacked the prices of the life-saving tool from $57 to $318 and seen her salary jump from $2 million to $19 million. Mylan bought the EpiPen rights in 2007 when it cost $56.64 per pen. In 2015, the allergy curing device cost $317.82 per pen. That is a 461% markup. Shkreli argued that the $300 is less than an iPhone and cheaper than a hospital. He also urged that the company wasn't making that much money, but it makes $1 billion from EpiPens now compared to the $200,000 they made in 2007. And from 2007, Mylan CEO's pay went from $2,453,456 to $18,931,068. I'm sorry, what do you do per year that earns you $18 million, broad? Please tell me what you do. What did you do? All you do is spin records. What do you do? We'll leave it right there. Last but not least, you guys know what's going on in Louisiana. The mayor of Livingston Parish City said he is going to file a lawsuit against the state and federal government, blaming the construction of I-12 for the flooding of most of the city. About 80% of the homes were flooded, Mayor Rick Ramsey said. As soon as our attorney gets out of his flooded subdivision, we're putting this in his lap. A frustrated mayor said live on a television interview, "I have told everyone who will listen," Mayor Rick Ramsey said, about him trying to warn officials about the chances of flooding due to the construction previously. Mayor Ramsey said that the lawsuit will be a class action and invite other cities to join as well. He said that this was a man-made problem and y'all finna fix it. We about to sue you. Before we jump in, we're about 11 minutes over as far as power hour is concerned. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Faith's Naturals, Faith's with an S, Naturals with an S, Beauty.com. She has a new store in Randolph. I am so excited for her and all that she does. My baby is coming up. I'm trying to get her to quit her job. I really am, because I need some more lotion. I need some more spray, some more hair, everything. And she has a real 9 to 5, and I'm going to need for her to quit that and just work for Face Naturals. I do not have her pull up. It's on Main Street at Top Notch. And if you want to purchase her products and you're in Randolph, Top Notch on Main Street in Randolph. She's also located here in Dorchester on Blue Hill Ave at Natural Herb Essentials. Oh, somebody's about to beat me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Faith, call us 617-282-0062, or you can just go to the website. I prefer the website because she gives free samples when you order online. Don't forget, she has a new foot mask. So you put this on and it makes your foot so moisturized and soft. You can use it on your hands as well. The Pum Pum Wash and Spray. So it's not just the Pum Pum Wash. She now has like a spray and go mist. So if you need a little Pum Pum spray after the gym or before the gym or before a date real quick, Pum Pum Wash and Spray, the activated charcoal teeth whitener, the face wash, the body wash. I love her activated charcoal everything. She even has a cellulite reducing soap. She's the bomb. I love everything Faith does. Love and appreciate you. Faith's with an S, Naturals with an S, Beauty.com. I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Asika Sa. She is located at the Raw Natural Healing and Natural Health and Education Center. That's 1349 Blue Hill Ave in Mattapan. You can give her a call at 617-696-5505. If you're looking to lose weight, call Dr. Asika Sa. If you're looking to become a vegan, call Dr. Asika Sa. If you are looking to detox your body, call Dr. Asika Sa. If you want to buy some gold, call Dr. Asika Sa. 617-696-5505. That is the Raw Natural Health and Education Center, 1349 Blue Hill Avenue, located in Mattapan. Last but not least, my darling, medical marijuana evaluations. So you tell them that TaylaAndre sent you. You give them a call, you book your appointment. They're located at 820 Pearl Street in Brockton, Massachusetts. Schedule your appointment, 774-517-5195. Medical marijuana evaluation, health and wellness, MedWell Centers, 820 Pearl Street. If you're going to smoke weed, if you're going to have it in your pocket, you're going to have it in your vehicle, you might as well have your card to back you up and to keep you safe. Dun, 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 dun. Tickets are on sale for the second annual Dr. Umar Johnson Conference. This time he is bringing Dr. Claude Anderson. Yes, I am a part of it. September 24th at the Strand Theater. That is Saturday. We're in the building all day long from 1 p.m. until 10 p.m. Dr. Johnson, as well as Dr. Anderson, will be in the building answering questions and educating us on how we can make our money work for us and stop giving our money away. Ashe? Shay. And don't forget my favorite place in the whole wide world, ZC Boston, 801 Mass Ave. Delivery until 1 a.m., open until 2 a.m., Monday through Friday. Well, no, I'm lying. Monday through Monday. They are open until 2 a.m. and deliver until 1 a.m. We have one of the most memorable speakers from previous shows. His name is Pedro. Okay, I'm lying. We weren't live with him yesterday, but it was like we were live. I was on my trip, a good 18 hours from Atlanta, Georgia to Boston, Massachusetts, and Pedro and I were on the phone recording while I was driving to make sure that you guys got the best up-to-date show on what's going on. I thank you so much for yesterday's show. I can't tell you how many people like, Tayla, I tried to call. I know you did, baby. We weren't in the studio. We were not live, but we are today. 617-282-0062. If you listened to yesterday's show, you want to chime in really quickly. Let's recap over what we did discuss yesterday as far as the show is concerned, Pedro. So New Jersey for kids, New Jersey for parental equality. And you guys know that I am all day, every day fighting for, I want to say father's rights, but yesterday I learned that it's not just father's rights that we're fighting for, it's parental rights we're fighting for. We're fighting for parental rights because right now, the way the system's set up, the way their bank account is set up, is every single time these fathers are paying $1, 66 cents or 68 cents goes to the state. So the state wants you to put your baby daddy on child support. The state wants you to put your baby mama on child support. The state needs you to put somebody on child support. Why? Because every dollar is backed 66 cents or 68 cents if they're doing it the right way. I'm so proud of you. We're going to go ahead and give you an extra 2 cents because you met quota. Thank you for pushing all your citizens to being on child support. Women, we need to take our fathers off child support. We need to sit down and be adults and have adult conversations and say, listen, this is what I need for the baby. This is what the baby needs. This is what you're going to give me. This is how it's going to happen. Ashe. We need to take these men off child support because the baby's not benefiting. The state is benefiting. And you'd be better off by having a conversation with the man and trying to figure it out for yourself than you are to try to get it from the state. Now, Taylor, you don't know my baby daddy. Well, baby, you don't know the system. Come on, Pedro. Put on your lip. I can say that right. It's been a while since I said that.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good rising. Good rising. You don't see the sun rising?
Yeah,
that
definitely.
Grand rising. The sun is not morning. It is rising. How are you?
I'm all right. Still a little sleepy.
He said, Taylor, I don't know how you do it.
Well, I actually wake up this early every day. Just on vacation, so I'm going to sleep late and waking up still at the same time that I'm used to going to work.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So you are a father.
Yeah.
You have a son.
Yeah.
You are in the middle of were in the middle of a heated, custody battle, child support issues, and you were paying child support.
Still am.
But had no access to your child.
Right.
How does that work?
Well, since we weren't married, technically, unmarried dads have zero rights of their child. They have no access to their child. The child could be put up for adoption, and the biological father has to go and fight the courts and the adopting parents for their child. But in my case, since I didn't have the custody or rights of our son, I didn't have visitation set up or anything like that. And
you had child support set up, though. They'll set you up on child support, but they won't set you up on visitation.
They won't. They won't. And I actually wasn't paying at the moment. I was I wound up owing arrears, but they were accumulating as the trial was going. So I was owing, I think at that point, it was about $6,000 in a matter of like 6 months or something like that. And I finally was able to pay that off at the beginning of this year. And they had no problem having those child support arrears accumulating. But my time that was missed, they don't say, hey, you know what? Let's give you those 8 months that you missed with your son.
And You missed 8 months with your son?
It was 6 or 8. It was 6 months, actually.
How old was he?
When I finally got to see him, when he was 8 months old.
So for the first 6 to 8 months, you didn't get to see him?
I saw him when he was born.
Okay.
She threw me out the hospital when he was born.
What happened?
She just threw me out the hospital.
Like, that's it? Like,
yeah, she said, hey, you know what? I don't want you here. And
hold on, pause. That's legal?
Yeah, that's where the whole Roe versus Wade comes in. You know,
Roe versus Wade is in control of when the baby is born and who can be in the room when the baby is born?
Well, it just branches off of that because that's where a woman's right of her body is in control. So because women have the right.
You have half my sperm in you, boo.
Exactly. And they just don't get that. You know, it's hard right now to kind of push that side of it. Basically, long story short, they wind up telling me that I had to leave. And actually, Judge Muhammad was the first one who had that case, which was, I got off the top of my head. But he wound up telling a father that he couldn't be there when his child was being born. And
this is okay. This is legal.
Yeah,
this is
absolutely
every
legal.
state, any state, all the time.
Yep. It falls under the 14th Amendment, which that's where Roe versus Wade comes in play.
Okay. Help me understand, because I'm not understanding. Maybe I don't. So you're the father, but because there's not an actual wedding that took place, and you guys didn't pay the state and pay some fees and say, oh, we're married, but you conceived a child together. But because there wasn't a wedding ring, so if you were married, could she kick you out?
Yeah. It's happened so many times, and unfortunately, it also depends on how it's done. Because obviously, if the cops are involved, they're going to come out and say domestic violence, so on and so forth, and people more than likely going to believe a woman over a man. But the one thing that I do tell a lot of guys is to not leave the house. Wait for the cops to either come take you out. Because if you volunteer to leave, then that means you're abandoning your family.
Oh, hold on. You guys get into a fight. She says leave. You say, you know what? I don't want it. I don't want to put hands on you. I don't want you to put hands on me. I don't want this to get physical. I'm just going to walk out gracefully,
Right.
And you walking out gracefully is you abandoned. Like, I didn't leave the state, though.
Right.
Like, I didn't leave the country.
Right.
I just left the house to go get a beer.
Right. They're looking at it as far as you abandoning the family, and which is exactly what the Social Security Title 4D was about. It was about men abandoning the family.
Okay, so we talked about Social Security Title 4D yesterday, and I wanted to recap really quickly because the pensions of judges comes out of the 66 cents, or if you are meeting quota and you get that boost of 68 cents per every dollar.
Yep. Hey, right now, if you look up section 403 parentheses 4, it pretty much says that there.
Oh, what did you say? What?
Section 403 parentheses 4.
With like in parentheses?
Yeah, in parentheses.
What the hell does that mean?
That's the way they break down certain statutes.
Okay, so section, again, because we're a little slow.
Section 403 parentheses 4. It says bonus to reward high performance states.
Hold on, let me see if this is a real thing.
This is a real thing.
Bonus to reward high performance states. A, in general, the secretary shall make a grant percent to the paragraph to each state for each bonus year for which the state is high performing. Amount of the grant in general, subject to clause of this subparagraph, the secretary shall determine the amount of the grant payable under this paragraph to high performing states for a bonus year, which shall be based on the score assigned to the state under subparagraph D for a fiscal year that immediately precedes the bonus year.
Yeah. It's written right there. Facts.
Hashtag fact. I'm not okay with it. Appropriation out of any money in the Treasury of the United States, nor otherwise appropriated, there are appropriated for fiscal years 99 through 2003. Is that $1 billion for grants under this paragraph? Is that what my face is reading $1 billion?
Yeah. It's a $500 billion industry.
Child support?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm in the wrong industry. I'm about to get in like and I said this probably like 2 years ago that I was gonna start like I need help talking to my baby mama. I need help talking to my baby daddy. Like not counseling, because then you'd need a certificate or a degree, but some sort of like mediation center for baby mamas. Because I think a lot of y'all broads need help. And I could say that because I was one of those broads that needed help. This is crazy. So I'm just reading over the section just briefly, and this is law. Yeah,
and I can show you one right now where it says the penalties, which is
the penalties for not being a performing state.
No, the penalties for let me get it right now.
So for those who don't know, we currently have Pedro in the building. Pedro is from New Jersey. He represents New Jersey for Kids, New Jersey for Parental Equality. We had a show with him probably about 1.5 years ago. And it was one of the most amazing shows that we've learned about the Social Security Title 4D, which basically says that child support is covered under Social Security. And because it's covered under Social Security, that states get 66 cents for every dollar paid. So if your baby daddy or you yourself have paid, $300 a month, $300, 66 cents for every dollar goes to the state. So the state's like, yo, listen, we need more Tyrones to pay child support. We need more Steves to pay child support. We need more people paying child support because every time they pay $1, we get 66 cents.
Yep, absolutely.
And that money goes into the pockets of judges, the
part
pensions.
Of it, yeah.
Where does the other part go?
Well, it basically pays anything that falls under Department of Human Services, which is welfare, housing, Medicaid, prison system. That's why we spoke about the Kids for Cash.
Yes.
That falls under that also. It also pays administration fees, which that's judges' salaries and pension.
AKA,
and also,
we'll set you up with child support for free. But if you want to see your child, you have to pay $250 to petition the court. Well, in the state of Massachusetts, I don't know how it works in New Jersey, but here in the state of Massachusetts, if you want to petition the court for visitation rights or whatever type of setup you have to see your child, $250. So now, if you don't have the money, you can waive it. But if they find that you have a job, because they're the State Department, if they find out you have a job, you have to pay that $250.
So that's to file?
Yeah.
Wow.
To file. Not to walk in a court, but to file, I want to see my child.
Wow. Yeah, we pay, I think it's $25 or $50. And they just implemented that at the beginning of last year. I believe it was.
617-282-0062. If you want to be a part of the conversation, New Jersey for Kids, New Jersey for Parental Equality. We are in the building with Pedro. We're talking about child support. We're talking about Social Security Title 4D. We're talking about probably some things about child support you had no idea about. 617-282-0062. Good rising, caller. You're live.
Good rising, Taylor. I like this topic this morning because I wish a lot of folks would be listening because this is something very important that the gentleman, giving us knowledge about. I got a question for you. Hello?
We're here. We're listening. His name is Pedro.
Question for you. Let's say you own property. Someone ends up giving you a child support, but you're self-employed. How would they find out how much you paid a month? Not a month, weekly to the government.
Hold on. Did you repeat that? Because I didn't quite understand that.
Hold up a second. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. I just didn't understand the question.
How would they calculate to charge you child support?
Oh, that's like that 30%. They do this whole mathematical equation. It's based on how much you make. It's based on how much the mother makes, what assistance she gets or doesn't get. and then they come out with a BS answer and say,
Pretty
you
much.
owe 90% of your income.
pretty much.
So your assets, just because they know you own few stuff like, let's say, houses, can they go after that one due to, the market? Or it's like, that's my whole thing I'm thinking about. Like, how would they know if you're self-employed?
You're going to have to put in your income. I believe it's for like the last 3 years. And now whatever houses you own, you're going to have to list what properties you have, all your bank accounts, businesses, so on and so forth. I wasn't in that situation, so I can't really say exactly how they would break that part down. But
what daddy right now owns some properties that is currently on child support that can answer this question? 617-282-0062, because I think that is an important question. What about a man who has a under the table job or a construction job, or they get paid in cash and do a Schedule C at the end of the year? So are you presenting your tax returns for the last 3 years, since you can't really present pay stubs? If you have the answer to this question, 617-282-0062, because I think that is a good question as far as fathers are concerned. I think where does he live? Canton? Stoughton? I think our friend over here might be going through some issues with child support. He needs some answers, and I would definitely love for myself to hear how that works as well, as far as your assets are concerned, your houses are concerned. What if my house, only pays for itself? The money that I'm getting from my houses pays for my houses. I don't know. How does that work? That's a good question. Pedro said, I'm not about that life right now. I wish I was about that life.
Yeah, pretty much.
So as far as, tell me a little bit, for New Jersey for kids, New Jersey for parental equality. So these aren't father's rights. These are parental rights.
These are parental rights. We have both mothers and fathers that are in the same situation as non-custodial parents. And they're being screwed over by the system. We do talk about, the only time we talk about father's rights is the unmarried dad, which in certain times they could be put into unethical adoptions, meaning that a biological mother, unmarried biological mother, could put up her child up for adoption without letting the father know. And if the father finds out, he's going to have to pay legal fees and get a lawyer, and not even guaranteed on receiving custody of his child. That's the only time we speak of this issue as quote unquote father's rights.
But for the most part, there's mothers out here that are also losing parental rights.
Yeah, we have one that, she hasn't seen her kids, I believe, in like 5 years.
How is that legal? I always wonder, as far as this court system is concerned, it's always in the best interest of the child. But how is it in the best interest of the child for them not to have a parent? Because
the way it's set up, judges and lawyers see what you're worth. They see the houses, they see the businesses, they see the cars, they see the accounts. So they're going to look at your worth. They're going to go after your heart, which is your child, and force you to pay an extreme amount of legal fees to go fight for your children. So you're going to probably have to go put your houses up for sale. They're going to put liens on your house to pay for legal fees. This is the things that happen. With her case, she owned 3 houses, $3.1 million a piece, owned. All she was paying was property tax, and she's living on the streets now because she wound up paying. Yes, she's living on the streets, hasn't seen her kids in 5 years because they just exhausted all her funds.
So where's his money at? He didn't have any money?
He didn't have any money.
What's the boy named? Kevin Fiddleline? He Kevin Fiddleline there?
No, pretty much.
Children are not pawns.
They're not. But
Children
unfortunately, the system and the custodial parent uses these children as pawns.
So listen, daddies, let me tell you. Let me be stupid real quick. So if you find out the bride pregnant, just get married real quick so you can have equal rights. All right.
And that's not even a guarantee of equal rights. The only thing that it does is just gives you custodial rights. You still got to fight for visitation. And you're still going to get, it's two different things. Physical time is one thing, and custodial rights is another.
What does that mean?
Custodial is just you have medical and school and legal rights of your child.
So I can't just go to the school and see my child? My child has a field trip. I can't go to the field trip? Because I have that school relationship. Legally, I can go to the school when I want. So can I not show up when I want and be a part of that school system?
If they don't know about it, yeah. But let's say,
what do you mean if they? Who's
like,
they?
The school. Like, let's say if the mother or the father, if the custodial parent was to come out and say, I don't want my.
I have custodial rights.
Now if you have custodial rights and there's no restraining order set in place, then you're fine.
But we talked about restraining orders yesterday and how quickly judges are willing to give a female a restraining order in order to keep the father away from the child.
Right. So if that's in place, then it's going to be hard for that father to go in and see the child, as long as a restraining order is in place with the child.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So if the mama puts a restraining order on you, and you still have custodial rights, you can still go to the school because you don't have a restraining order against the child.
Right.
Then how do you see the child because you can't go near the mama?
It's ridiculous. What they do, they'll set up either a place. I don't know how it is here in Massachusetts, but in different states.
For example, New Jersey.
Well, in New Jersey, in the county that we have it set up at, we don't have a drop-off center.
Mm-hmm.
But in some states or some towns or counties, they have a drop-off center where you're paying like $50 an hour for supervised visitation. Yeah,
really?
yeah. Either you're paying $50. What?
Come closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry. You're paying $50 an hour for supervised visitation, or just for the transfer. Or you could transfer at some police stations in some public.
I'm in the wrong business. Y'all want to drop off your kids with me, and the baby mama can come pick up later?
Yeah, like this is
really, I'm making jokes, but I'm trying to make light of situations that a lot of fathers are. And we discussed yesterday how, what did you say, 67% of suicides are child support related or
family court related with men. That was the last study, which was Dr. Augustine Kepisoa. He's in the University of California, I believe. And he did the last research on how men are committing suicide in general, and that he was associating it with divorce and separation. 67%
of men that commit suicide have to do with family courts.
Yep.
That's insane. 617-282-0062. This is a real conversation that needs to be had. We need to talk to our politicians and figure out what we're doing here in the state of Massachusetts, because this is Massachusetts. Pedro, for real. Like, our nickname, aside from Taxachusetts, we're also Massachusetts, which means that the mama could be a crackhead. She could be shooting up on the corner of the street, but unless you can prove that she is an unfit parent, high or not, she still has custody of those kids.
There's a reason why that happens.
Tell me.
Because Child Services is also part of that Department of Human Services. They receive funding from Social Security Title 4D. So they're receiving funding from the Social Security Title 4D. And then because of every case that they keep open, it's an expenditure, meaning it's a usage of the system.
That earmark, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Exactly. So what happens is they rather keep these children in messed up situations just to receive funding.
Just to keep it open.
Baby,
call us back. Don't hang up. Don't get impatient with me. 617-282-0062. You know I'm going to pull you up. I just have to run my mouth a little bit. Good rising, call you live. Shut your radio off for me, baby.
Got it. I like the conversation. I got a quick question. I mean, the only reason I'm not in this situation is because I was married before, you know what I'm saying, the whole situation basically went crazy and we separated. So that's the only reason why I'm not in the same ridiculous situation. But how can a father or a mother not have the first legal right to want their child, because basically the other parents have it, they put it up for adoption? How does a stranger have more rights way you want to look at it, it's a part of me. It came from my sperm or from a woman's egg. So how are you going to give a stranger more rights to something that's a part of me that actually beats? I really don't get that. If you want a child, why can you not have your child if you want your child if you're the parent doesn't want it? Why does a stranger get to have my child? I don't understand. No matter which one anybody wants to explain that to me, it makes zero special sense to me. And I would like for a judge to explain that to me, how this makes any type of ethical sense or any type of common sense.
Hey, baby, we know common sense ain't that common, right? We know that, right?
Let me answer that. What that is, it's just money.
Okay, but it's sort of ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? Just to think about that you have to go fight for your child, which is technically good. You know what I'm saying?
So for those who don't know, what he's talking about is Pedro brought up the fact that a mother who wants to put a child up for adoption, Roe versus Wade, that's correct? Roe versus Wade, under that statute, if a mother wants to put a child up for adoption, the father would have to financially do all that he has to do in order to fight this family that doesn't even know this child for the biological father.
It's not a statute, it's just case law.
What does that mean for us ignorant folks?
It's just one case that came up that they said, okay, we're going to use this case that was a positive result and use it as a standard. Forever.
Okay, so just one case. Somehow.
Right.
So how do we reverse it?
To be honest with you, that I don't know. I guess by implementing laws on certain situations, I guess by giving unmarried dads rights of their child from birth also.
But this sounds like Pedro, this sounds, again, the caller said common sense. This sounds like common sense. With all of these fathers that are out here that have all of these millions of dollars, nobody's in court like actually petitioning and fighting. Like, listen, fathers need rights too. Parents need rights too. It's not about, and one of the Facebook questions that came up is, when did this statute or law take effect that these judges are, in a sense, rewarded for these cases that remain open? Like, when did this start? Has this always been a forever system where judges are rewarded, or can we follow the money? Is there a trail? Like, what are our options?
That started 1974 or 1975. That's when the Social Security Title 4D came in place, was adopted.
So why are we just now learning about it?
We're more concentrated on other issues, or not even issues. We're considered the greatest country in the world, but yet our rights are so, not that they're limited, but
no,
they're being eliminated, you know, but we're still happy because we could buy an iPhone, you know.
That was made by a child worker.
Exactly. And
or somebody who tried to commit suicide and couldn't because there was a safety net that said, hey, yo, get your ass back to work. You ain't gonna die today.
Exactly. And that's the problem. And then also here in the States, like, unless if you're involved, or if a situation is personally to you, that's the only time you get to know what that issue is.
But there's a lot of dads, like, I'll keep him anonymous. He works for the State Department, and he told me that he pays like $65,000 a year in child support, which is damn near half of his income. He works for the state. He's been working for the state for years. And he said, Taylor, you know, I listened to your show on child support, and I just want to let you know I'm one of those dads. I pay $65,000 a year. She makes good money, but I still, like, I'm like, yo, that's somebody's salary in child support per year. And there are men out here. So I feel like he has the capital. He has the means. Why not? Why is there a class action suit? Like,
oh, there is. There's a couple of them. There's one right now in New Jersey.
You know what I mean? Like a federal class action suit against Social Security Title 4D.
I saw one sometime last week. Was actually posted on the New Jersey page, but I've been working too many hours to help pay child support and not get evicted. Yeah, so I really couldn't read the lengthy post that was posted on the New Jersey page. But I'm hoping that this week, with my time off, that I'm able to read it. But I did read that they're having a class action federal lawsuit against the Family Court Division.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so can we go ahead and post that on the Wake Up with TaylaAndre page so we can get some of these daddies? And we got mamas that pay child support too. But I know for a fact, statistically, it's mostly men that are coming out of pocket paying these child support fees, and it is just fees, right?
It is child support. I forgot what they call it, but just child support.
Ridiculousness.
I was actually looking at my phone for this one case. It was Jeremiah Sampson. I couldn't remember the guy's name.
Okay.
But he was in Missouri. And Missouri, I believe, has a putative father registry.
What is a putative father registry?
Which is every state has it a little different, but the way that is pretty much set up is the Department of Human Services sets up a list. So you basically register yourself as a man, and you say, okay.
Hold on, you register yourself as a man.
Well, as a man, you register yourself.
Okay.
So you go over there and you say, okay, I slept with this person on this day. So if her name comes up as giving up the child for adoption.
Pause.
Yes.
How many dudes go to the club and smash on a regular? They don't even know the bride's last name.
Yep.
So you register. I'm a man. I'm about to sleep with this chick. She may or may not get pregnant. If she tries to put my child up for adoption, please notify me via email.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So that father would receive some kind of notice, and then he has either 7 days or 60 days to file paperwork to get custody of his child.
So you might as well just have the paperwork filed out.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Like it's.
How does that work as far as like what if she wants to get an abortion?
But that's where the Roe versus Wade comes in, because that's where Roe versus Wade was. It was the adoption. The abortion. They were having illegal abortions where they were ripping up women's insides with hangers and so on and so forth. And Roe versus Wade wind up giving women their right to choose their rights of their body. So that's when the whole adoption industry, the whole abortion industry came into play. So it wind up giving women their full 100% right of their body and anything that's attached to it.
So, but so there's no law, no nothing that says that we had sex, I want this baby, she doesn't want to keep it, but I do. I have rights too.
No law.
But yet, if she says, I'm finna have this baby, like, I don't like you, I don't want kids with you, I will not be a part of your life nor that child's life, leave me alone, get an abortion, you have no rights.
Right. And watch this. Like, we're talking about child support. A woman can go and leave her child at the police department, fire department, hospital, safe havens, adoption agencies, so on and so forth. Nothing happens to her. A father abandons his child. Guess what? You're paying child support. Not that it's okay, but
it's a double standard.
It's a double standard. So that's just telling you that there's something wrong with the system.
Oh, there's many things wrong with many systems.
Because how is it okay for one parent to abandon, but yet the other parent was to abandon? No, you can't do that. Now you have to pay. So you're basically using one as a producer of money, the woman, and then the dad as the one that's.
So these females are nothing. So these females are really cash cows for the states.
Yeah, pretty much. Literally.
Lauren had that baby. We got you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna get him too.
Like, you see it so many times. I hear stories of couples who can't afford housing, so they go look for housing. They're married, and these workers would tell them, if you leave your husband, if you leave the boyfriend, if you leave the child's father, well, we have no problem helping you, but you have to put him on child support.
Food stamps.
Child support. Yeah, like, to me, it's like, whoa, you rather continue destroying families just to, quote unquote, help somebody, and paying.
Helping is that judge whose pocket gets lined. They ain't helping families.
And even their pocket, that worker, their money, that's administration fees.
Okay, so there has to be, at some point, this has to be the extreme. There has to be like the system works normally for, so how does this system work where it actually like thumbs up, it works?
Right now, there's this one statute, which is section 409, parentheses IV, which is eligible families. And what happens is it says that if you're receiving any assistance from the state, that's the only time you're supposed to be on child support. Yes.
Is that a federal statute?
Yeah, that's under Social Security Title 4.
So how is that?
We're not educated. And then it goes back down to the judge's discretion.
Hold on, wait. So a man could fight. If he had an attorney, if he knew law, if he had diction, he could go before a judge and say, parentheses,
IV.
409, what is that? IV, that's 4, right?
Right, but that won't be 4, because then 4 would be written number 4.
So the IV.
Right.
Damn, I would have messed up. I would have been like 4. Nah, I said the wrong statute.
The wrong statute.
Okay, so 409 parentheses IV states that when the family is under, the mother and the child are under some type of system, that is the only time you're supposed to pay child support.
Right.
So if I am a working mom, I'm not on Section 8, I don't have food stamps, I don't get any monies from the state, my child's father is not supposed to legally, 409 parentheses IV, should not be on child support.
Right. You're supposed to actually go to some kind of civil court, but they're not pushing it there because
civil court.
Right. Because even family court fund falls under.
So hold on,
court.
Pedro. Hold on. Because you're a civilian, I'm a civilian. Neither one of us know law. Neither one of us have that diction. Explain to me why attorneys aren't like fighters of parental rights, parental equality, aren't saying what? So are the attorneys getting money too?
You're paying for an attorney.
Okay, I'm paying for you to do your job. Let's go to civil court. Why we got to go to family court?
The way I see it, lawyers are professional liars. That's what they do. They manipulate laws, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then. So what happens is when you go and you look for a lawyer, the first thing they do, they have you sign paperwork. You have to give them all your assets. You have to show all your assets. What houses, cars, bank accounts,
y'all need
401k.
Prepaid legal. Hold on. This sounds like too much. I'm about to start advocating for prepaid legal all over again because they don't even ask for that. They ask for $27 a month. That's it. This is ridiculous,
yeah.
Pedro. Like I'm sick to my stomach. I was sick to my stomach when we were talking yesterday about this, but this is like.
So what happens is, like this is what I was saying before about that one mother who had the 3 houses at $3.1 million a piece. They saw all her assets, and what happens? I'm not gonna say that it does happen, but judge and lawyer will get together and say, hey, this person is worth
money.
This much, let's get money.
Hold on, but okay, I'm thinking as an attorney, you about to pay me whether I do the right thing or I do the wrong thing. I'm still getting paid. So you're gonna pay me if we walk in this court and we go ahead and get you parental rights. I'm gonna get paid if I walk out of here and I don't get you parental rights. I get paid. More attorneys aren't saying, let me do the right thing.
There are some attorneys, but
let's go to civil court. Let's take, because I love this statute. 409 parentheses IV. Ask your attorney about whether or not you can take your situation. If the mama is not on any type of assistance, she can't be on food stamps. She can't have mass house. She can't do the like, damn, I'm no longer qualified. But she can't be on any type of government assistance. If she's not on government assistance, she works her behind off. She pays rent. She takes care of that baby. Take it to civil court. Because it's no longer family court by statute, by federal law.
Right.
I feel like that should be pushed.
Yeah, it should. But there was one lawyer, I forgot his name, but he was one who was actually fighting to do the right thing. He wound up being disbarred.
Hold on. What?
That lawyer was disbarred.
For doing the right thing.
For trying to do the right thing. for exposing how family court is working. He was disbarred.
What's his name?
I forgot his name. Right now, I haven't been.
I know it's like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so so he was disbarred.
So I want to give a shout out to those that are currently watching on Facebook. We have a weak connection because my battery's getting a little too hot, but you can definitely watch the video later on YouTube. Give it about an hour, so about 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. You'll be able to see it on YouTube. Really quickly, why do they use child support as a source of income to pay rent? Why can't they use half for the child, half for saving for college? Because that means some kids are paying their own rent at 1 and 2 years old. Baby said, yo, I own this house. My child support paid for that. Talk about some cut the light out. I paid the electric bill this week. Yo, kids about to be arrogant in a minute. Watch this. Watch this. It's true. The devil literally wants your soul. Pretty much sums it up. Good rising, Latoya. Good rising. It sounds like the system is focused on targeting activity, participating in further destruction of the family structure. Even worse worse than it already is. The judge wants to see your paycheck and everything before you even go before the court. So what's the big picture? It's not the welfare of the children. It's profit yet once again.
Yep. Let me show you some statistics. Since that person talked about destroying families, we have some statistics on fatherless families. Mm-hmm. And give me 1 second.
So for those that are just now tuning in, I'm back. This is not pre-recorded. This is not a show that you've heard once before. We are live. We are in the studio. I am in the building. I am back in Boston. We are talking with Pedro. New Jersey for Kids, New Jersey for Parental Equality is the organization. And on the back of my shirt, what does it say, Pedro? What does it say on the back of my shirt?
This woman supports fathers' rights and parental equality.
Say it again.
This woman supports fathers' rights and parental equality. I
sure do. You know I do. And if you ever went on my baby mama rant, I went all the way in on the baby mamas because a lot of them, in all seriousness, as far as mental health is concerned, a lot of women are out here keeping their children away from their daddies because they don't have a relationship with their own father. If you look at, I wish we had a statistic of how many women are keeping the children away from the daddies and how many of those women that have these issues also have daddy issues, also didn't have a father in the household. Because I can tell you this, I said a boy name. The kid's father is not on child support. He is not. He's never been on child support. Can't bring myself to put him on child support. Why? Because I have a daddy. And I cannot imagine what it would, it's not about the money. It's not about the bills. It's about making sure the children have what they need. And if the kids have what they need, it's not about me.
Absolutely.
It's not about me. Well, he needed to do this and he needed to do. I was the number one advocate for the children take baths. He need to pay the gas bill. The children, I cook food. He need to pay for the electric bill. But the truth of the matter is, whether he was there or not, the gas still need to be paid. The electric still need to be paid. I still need to cook to sustain myself. So it's funny because I promise you, I was all the way on the other side. Put him on child support. Take all his money. He don't need cash. What do you mean? Paycheck for what? Give me 85% of it. And a lot of men are out here. And I believe you told a story yesterday about a man who's paying, what was it?
$65,000 a month on child support.
$65,000 a month for child support.
I just want to say that I want to tip my cap to you, man, because if you went a complete 180 from who you was, and then to say that on radio, that to me, I gotta tip my cap.
I can tip my own self be true. I can be transparent. I was a baby mama. I was an itch in the middle of your back all day, and he'll tell you Tayla's sad. But I definitely have done a 180, and it's because I don't know. When you're a child, you think and you act like a child. When you become an adult and you see that it's not about your feelings, it's not about your emotions. And we as women, we're so quick to, you know, when everything's good and everything's okay, you have all access and free range to your child, but let you say the wrong thing. Let you not drop them off at the time in which I wanted you to drop them off. Let you not make a phone call. Like, flip the script real quick. You can't see your kids for the rest of the month. Like, how does that benefit anything outside of your ego?
Right. Yep.
So, to thy own self be true. Some of us need to look in the mirror and figure out what we're really doing wrong. But I'm sorry. Continue with this statue.
No, well, actually, this is the statistics on fatherless homes. And if you look, a lot of these are somehow associated to the Department of Human Services.
Give them to me.
All right, so 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes.
63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes, and 67% of men suicides are family court related.
Right.
Okay.
90% of homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes.
90% of runaway children.
Yep.
Runaway train never going back.
85% of children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes.
80% of your badass kids, so the teachers that are currently listening, the educators that are currently listening, you said 90% of these badass kids don't have no daddy in the household.
85%.
85, 90.
Yeah. Sorry.
90, 85%.
80% of rapists and anger problems come from fatherless homes.
What?
Yep.
Rapists?
Yep. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes.
It doesn't happen often that I don't have much to say, but those statistics are staggering because it's not like 52%, 44%. These are 80s,
yeah.
70s,
yeah.
85.
Yep. 70% of youth in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes.
70% of youth that are in juvenile facilities come from fatherless homes. And we don't think for a second that we need to focus on the family and rebuild these family structures. I told you that the most revolutionary thing you could do is build a family.
Yep. 71% of pregnant teenagers lack a father. 71%
of teenage pregnancies come from fatherless homes. Daddy, let me talk to you real quick because you said that you didn't want to deal with the baby mama no more, so you weren't going to be there for the child. I can't tell you how many fathers have contacted me like, Tayla, I give up. She can have custody. She can do this by herself. I can't be a part of this anymore. The courts are trying to rape me. They're trying to take all my money. They're trying to, they're ripping out my heart. I can't even see my kid. And they give up.
Yep. It happens. I gave up at one point, but it happens. It happens.
Please do not. What would you say to the father just like, Pedro, I can't do this anymore. I quit. I can't. Like, this woman she's crazy. And some of the women that are out here that are dealing with crazy baby daddies, with crazy girlfriends. Because this ain't one-sided. It's double-sided. It's parental equality.
Think of your child. That's all I can say. Think of your child. You know, that's my motivation. My little guy.
And he's the cutest Pedro.
Thanks.
And you guys have I'm not there personally with you guys, but based on the pictures that you guys post, based on the videos that you post, like, your relationship is so awesome.
Yeah, it is, man. It definitely is. That kid, oh man. But to me, like, that's my motivation, is just to continue going, because seeing how the little time that I have with him, it brings this smile on his face, you know, and he just wants to lay on my shoulder for at least, I can't put him in the car for the first half hour. He just wants to hug me, and you feel the pull.
Do you cry every time you see him, and every time you have to drop him off?
Yep. This Saturday was the first Saturday that I worked, that I had him, but that was only because I had the week off.
Yeah. So
I said, right now there's overtime. I need cash.
Yeah.
Let me work it.
Because I got paid his child support.
Right. And he stood with my sister. She took him out. They come home, and I'm waiting inside. She rings the doorbell, And I open the door. He sees me, and he just had this big smile. As soon as I open the door, he just ran to me. I pick him up, and he just hugs me hard, you know. And I was just like, "You okay?" He's like, he goes, "I miss you, Dad," you know. And I was just like, "Damn," you know. And I'm rubbing his back, and I sit down on the couch, and he wouldn't even sit on my lap. Like, he just wanted to continue hugging me, you know. And he stood like that for at least a good half hour, you know. And finally, he let up, but he just wanted to sit on my lap after that. So he
didn't want to leave.
Did not want to leave. And then he has this thing that whenever we're going out, it doesn't matter if he just woke up, and he'll come out and say, "Dad, I'm tired," and he wants me to carry him. But it's not because he's tired. He just wants to lay his head right on my shoulder.
Be as close to you as possible during the time. Yep. Oh, Pedro, don't do this to me. You know I'm emotional. You know I'm emotional.
Yeah, the thing that's funny is that I never cried so much after, you know, like before having my son. Never. The only time I cried was when my mom passed away back in 2008. And, you know, obviously with my son. And I remember when my ex kept my son away from me for 7 months, my nephew and I, we went fishing, and we went to the diner. So I'm sitting down. Me and my niece and nephew, we're close. We're extremely close. I love my niece and nephew. That's the reason why I wanted kids, you know. And my nephew, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, damn, I'm going to spend more time with my nephew, which I have no problem with, you know, than my own son, you know. And I just broke down crying in the middle of the diner. And my nephew just looks at me, and he's like, "What's the matter?" You know, and I'm like, I'm trying to explain it to him.
Yeah.
And he just goes, "Damn." He goes, "I've never seen you cry before until this situation. What would it do to me?" You know? He's like, to me, like, he just called me like one of the strongest people he knows. And this broke me down where I'm crying currently. And that particular day, like, he looked at it like, what is it going to do to me?
So the judge doesn't see this?
They don't care. Unfortunately, they don't care. They just keep abusing that parens patriae. That's all they doing for federal funding. You know, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. You don't know how many times I go in there and I talk about it, and these judges do not care. My judge particularly altered the transcripts.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Go on, call him out. Say his name again.
Sohail Muhammad altered transcripts. I got his boss to try to give me the backup audio, which runs 24 hours a day. His name is Ernest Capicella. He denied my request for these recordings twice.
And one more time, Cory Booker said that he'd sit down with you. Instead, didn't even have the decency to say, "Listen, let's reschedule. I'm going to just go ahead and throw my little, you know, assistant at you real quick." And then it is what it is. These politicians out here, how can we in Massachusetts be effective change? How can we in Massachusetts, you know, because this is Massachusetts, we are Taxachusetts. Like, not only are we taxing you, but $250 if you even want to petition a court to see your child.
That's crazy. The only thing is start getting involved. If you have to start creating an organization yourself, do it. Just like you pointed out, the lady with the Langston Hughes house. You know, she kept saying, "Hey, somebody do something, be that somebody." You know, your child could be on the radio right now crying for his son. You know, your child could be one of these 67% of fathers committing suicide. You know, whether it could be a mother or the father. Because these are going to start increasing on the women's side. Why? Because now women are in a higher position in work, you know, where they're making money, you know. So these are the women that are losing custody.
Kevin Federline trying to get that cash.
Yep.
Really quickly, we have a call on the line. Good rise and call you live.
Yeah, how you doing? How you guys doing this morning?
Super fantastic. How you doing, darling?
I'm all right. I was just touched by the conversation because for the first time, it appears that, you know, it's being addressed publicly, you know, for the years, you know, as a father, going through the baby mama drama and all that, and dealing with the court, I was forced to, you know, take matters in my own hands, you know. You know, I had to work, and then I had to, you know, do illegal things just to
satisfy the court as well as take care of myself. You know what I mean? I'm all for taking care of self, and then not being able to take care of the kids, man. It just behooved me how you can't get no help from the judicial, the probate court. You know what I mean? And then they try to give you these advocates to speak for you who just don't do anything for you. It's like they lack communication. And I mean, I'm sorry to be rampant, but it's such a sensitive subject that you guys had to pick this morning and bless us. You know what I mean? That I just happened to hit the radio and catch this topic, and I really appreciate you guys discussing it.
Well, welcome, baby, welcome. Waking up with TaylaAndre. I am a woman, a mother that supports fathers' rights. I'm a woman, a mother that supports equality, parental equality. You know, because you didn't make this baby by yourself, and this is something that I speak on regularly. I don't know how to start an organization. I don't know how that organization would be ran and what I would actually solve by starting an organization, but I definitely fight as much as I possibly can. I've been to court with men who's like, Tayla, can you know, I need some support. I don't want to go by myself. Like, can you come? I've been to court with dudes who had child support issues, and I sat in the courtroom and I listened to the way that these fathers are treated. If you just it's free. If you have a free day, go to the courthouse and listen to family court and watch how these judges just treat these men, regardless of the system. And most of the time, it's the state representing the woman because she has some form of assistance or housing or something. So do not think that this is the only or the first time or the last time that we're going to have this conversation, because I'm always talking about men's rights. I'm always talking about parental equality. And now that I know that it's not about the man or about the woman, it's about the funding, it's about that Social Security Title 4D, it's about that 66 cents for every dollar that you pay in child support goes straight to the state. And if you are one of those outperforming states, we want to give you a boost and make it 68%, 68 cents for every dollar. It's completely insane to me. But thank you, baby. I love you. I appreciate you. TaylaAndre, TaylaAndre. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Really quickly, I want to read some of these Facebook comments. I didn't have a father in the household. The father of my children wants nothing to do with them after I left because he refused to find and keep a job. This was after a 10-and-a-half-year relationship. He's not an adult, almost 10 years of being separated, and he still wants nothing to do with my children because I left him. Keenian from California, hey, Papa, said it's all about the money for my baby mama. Latoya said, I didn't want the money. I just want the relationship for my children. He refused and has 3 more children after the 3 that we had together. They asked if we can post the statistics that you read about the fatherless homes, if we can post those. Kenyan says, nowadays, you just got to wait until your child turns 12 and let the child decide where they want to live. I didn't even know that was a real thing, that the child can decide at the age of 12. If you ever watch Beyond Scared Straight and listen to why the kids cut up, it's because the daddy is not around in most cases. They don't want fathers around. Even coaches recruit athletes from single mother homes more frequently than 2-parent homes so the coach can be the daddy. It's really sad. Shout out to B from Tennessee. John Fitzgerald said the child support system may have been a good idea, but now it is simply a system that is used to keep people, majority minority men, ensnared in perpetual debt in the broken judicial system, and it needs to be completely overhauled. Removing the father from the home is now how you destroy a family union and produce dysfunctional offspring. This is by design. Your connection is very bad, cannot follow your conversation, and I am losing viewers on Facebook. Well, thank you so much, and I hope to talk to you soon. For those that are not following on Facebook because the connection is slow, we are recording live on YouTube, and that will be available in its entirety as soon as we get off air. I didn't realize what time it was. You know, I'm long-winded. I do apologize, and I was not paying attention. I miss you guys so much. I thank you so much for your time. Pedro, thank you. Coming all the way from New Jersey for kids, New Jersey for parental equality. How can we reach you? How can we get in contact with you? How can we help just be a support system for you?
Our website is Nj4kids. The website is Nj4kids, Nj4pe.org, which is New Jersey for Kids, New Jersey for Parental Equality. You can reach us there. Also on our Facebook page and Twitter, same way. Just search New Jersey for Kids, New Jersey for Parental Equality.
And I am TaylaAndre, TaylaAndre, and you can search for me anywhere online, and I am available. Or you could just go to the website, TaylaAndre. There's currently a caller on the line. I am going to take you off air, so give me a moment. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Faith Natural Beauty, Faiths with an S, Naturals with an S, Beauty.com. That is where you will be able to get your free samples. She has the foot mask, the pum pum wash, the pum pum spray, the activated charcoal teeth whitener, the activated charcoal face wash. She has the rose infused oil. Everything Faith makes is absolutely amazing. You'll love it. Shout out to Dr. Asikasa at the Raw Healing Center. She is located in Mattapan, and if you need to go ahead and get your detox on, if you want to go ahead and get your weight loss on, first of the things that you need to do is change the way you eat and understand how all of these minerals and foods affect your body. Dr. Asikasa is at the Raw Healing, Raw Natural Health and Education Center, 1349 Blue Hill Avenue, Mattapan, Mass. 02126. Don't forget Medwell. Medwell is located on 820, Dyslexia is Real, 820 Pearl Street, Brockton, Massachusetts, 774-517-5195. Let them know that TaylaAndre sent you. You will get a $25 discount. Again, 774-517-5195, 820 Pearl Street, Brockton, Massachusetts. If you're going to walk around here, smoke weed, have weed in your system, go ahead and just go get your medical marijuana card and get legal. Last but not least, ZC Boston. They have the best $10 bento boxes, and my favorite is the teriyaki salmon with the rice and all of the other fixings that come with it. $10 fills you up, and I promise you, you probably won't even eat dinner. You'll need a shake for dinner. Pedro, I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. The viewers on Facebook, thank you. Love and appreciate you. YouTube, I miss you guys so much. Big City 101.3 FM, Waking Up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. We're going to fix this. We're going to get it right. I don't know how or what type of organization I'm finna start, but I definitely want to continue fighting for fathers' rights and parental rights, and I want to fight the system as far as Social Security Title 4D is concerned. As far as the fathers or mothers that have the other parent that is not on any type of assistance, it is 409 parentheses IV. If they are not on any type of government assistance, take it out of family court and take them to civil court. Civil court. Ask your lawyer or your attorney about this, and I want you guys, I want all of us to do better. When you know better, you do better. And now that we know, let's do better. Again, for the caller that is currently calling, I am going to take you off air. Big City 101.3 FM, Waking Up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Mwah.
That's right, baby. You know what it is? It's DJ Sus1, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with TaylaAndre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go. Big City 101.3 FM.
Good rising, baby.
Hi, am I on the radio?
You are not on air, baby.
Okay, I have a quick question. I've been trying to find. I didn't know you were on the station. They had a replay of an interview you did with the Lord, with two gentlemen.
With two.
You know the Lord? I don't remember the gentleman's name, and I was just trying to get the contact information.
When was the show played? Do you know What was it about?
It was played on a Monday. I think it was last Monday.
And what was it about?
Indigenous people, indigenous something, but it was, he said, I think it was Morrison.
Yeah, his name is Bay.
It was two, it sounds like it was an older gentleman and a younger gentleman.
I have like 7 names in my head, but I know that's not his name. Give me 5 seconds and I'll tell you. Satep Hotep Bay, his number, let me go ahead and take this off YouTube. Because Satep Hotep Bay, he is a Moor, and I think he's like the regional director of the Boston Moors or New England Moors. You can contact him on Facebook, Satep, S-E-T-E-P, Hotep, S-E-T-E-P, Hotep, H-O-T-E-P, T-E-P,
H-O-E-P.
no, like hot, H-O-T-E-P, hot E-P.
Oh, H-O-T-E-P, okay, I got you.
And his last name is Bay, B-E-Y, which really isn't a last name. We learned that it means governor. And his number